Like, I get like
Yeah.
nervous.
We've told that story. We've told that story on the podcast, have we? Or not?
Which one?
The one of you like falling to your death while rock climbing.
I think so. I don't.
Yeah.
I feel like we have. I don't
Well,
actually remember.
just give
We'll
it
do
the,
a brief
the
thing.
1 minute brief. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you could throw a picture of like the Devil's Tower, like here for the podcast or whatever. But
Giving me
yeah,
more
so
editing work, are we?
more
Great.
editing
Thank
work. You
you.
don't have to. But basically, there's this giant tower in Wyoming, Devil's Tower. It's just like, how would you describe it? It's just like a tube sticking up out of the ground.
Yeah, it's a
Right.
rock tube sticking out of this just flat lands in northeastern Wyoming.
Yeah. So yeah, we were climbing there. Vince, so you took the first, no, you climbed the pitch, right? And you left your gear basically. So Vince climbed it, left his gear. So like you put like little pieces of gear in to protect yourself. If you fall, you clip them on the way up. Vince got to the top, sent the pitch. Nice. It was legit. Yeah. What's it rated? Is it 10C, 10D?
No, unfortunately, I think it's a 10A. So like,
That's
yeah.
unreal. That's
But it's a renownedly hard 10A because
yeah,
it's a
very
marathon.
like
Oh, no, I think it is 10C.
I want to say it's 10C.
Yeah, you might be right. Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, basically it's like a long climb, pretty hard. And at the time I think it was your hardest on site, right? Or no?
On gear,
On gear.
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it was a good send. It's hard to do. So you got to the top, and then we ended up pulling the rope, and I ended up climbing it on lead, basically. But I was using Vince's gear, and I got like probably 3/4 up the route, and I clipped a piece of gear. Looked fine. Like the gear was in a good spot, like totally fine, good to fall on. And then I climbed like 10 to 15 feet above that because you ran it out a bunch. Like you probably ran it out like more than you had to. Well, no, enough to send because it was like pretty pumpy, so you just had to like cruise through it.
Yeah.
So it's pretty run out, and I like was trying to clip the next piece, and basically I just slipped out. Like my foot slipped, and I fell to that piece of gear that I had clipped, and the gear ended up breaking. Like just like the cam just snapped. No idea how, but once it snapped, I kept falling, and I fell another like, I mean, all the way down. I fell all the way down the route, probably like it was like 50 feet or so.
It was a high
It
route.
was pretty high. It was like way high because I was close to the top, like 3/4 up the route, and it's a long route. And basically, I remember just like thinking, "Oh yeah, I'm dead. I'm dead." Because like I was like, "There's no way there's enough." It was like there's way too much slack in the rope after that piece is gone, and then there's like a ledge where the other belayer was belaying me. So basically, I remember like thinking, "Yeah, I'm dead," and I kind of like closed my eyes, and then I just stopped falling, and I just opened my eyes and I looked to my left, and my belayer, Melanie, she's to my left, staring at me like we're eye level. And the ledge is like 2 feet below us. So like it was like near death. And I quit climbing, I think, for a while. Like it had to have been like 6 to 8 months.
It was longer than that. Like
It was
until
like
you truly like. It's only now that you're getting really back into like the track
yeah.
climbing, and that was
Now
years
I'm like
ago.
as stoked as I was then. So like I'm back to that level, you know. And
Yeah.
I'm climbing harder now, but like it took a long. I mean, that was 2 years ago.
It took Cody some PTSD counseling to get over his fears
That was intense.
of rock climbing equipment exploding on him. And for those that like aren't rock climbers, like Cody was explaining that I ran it out. That means like I was pushing my own limits, so I kind of assessed the risk and decided to put less equipment in the rock to protect myself, which means like on lead, like Cody was explaining, is like if I'm actively climbing, I'm placing in the gear, right? And I'm progressively keeping myself safe. But if I put less gear, right? If I fall, I'm going to fall to the last piece of protection, but then the rope is through that piece of protection. So I'm going to keep going the same length as I was above it. And then whatever else, slack or the weight of the climber, that's like how much more you keep falling. So, the more you run it out, the bigger the chance of a dangerous or a long fall is. And I ran it out already. So as in there was big gaps between the equipment. And then on top of that, Cody's a big boy. He's above that run out equipment, and one of them breaks on top of that. So that's a massive fall. And like just to describe the environment, this is a national park. It's called the Devil's Tower National Park in Wyoming, and that's all there is. Like that's the park. The park is a circle around the rock. And the first climb, like the first thing you see when you walk in through and it's a crowded park, first thing you see is that climb. And just to explain, I was up there, right? Because I already made the climb and I was just waiting for Cody to come back up. And I'm just sitting there, and it was like one of my proudest moments of climbing, because I could get to the top and people cheer. Like they're like, ah! Like, and I was like, I never got like applauds for getting to the top of a climb. Not to mention, like, it was challenging for me. So I was like, oh, hell yeah, yeah, yeah. But on in the polar opposite, vice versa, I'm sitting there waiting for Cody to climb, and once in a while I'm, shooting some pictures and just sitting, chilling. But I'm just looking at the view, and at one point I hear an entire crowd of people. All I hear is like throughout the valley, and I'm just like, what the hell? And I'm like looking around like, what happened? And I look down, and Cody, who was almost at me, is back down to the base. I'm like, what's going on, buddy? And you go like, just give me a minute.
Oh yeah, because I think I took like a 10-minute break, but the thing was, you were up there and we had 2 people down, and we had to get the rope up so you could get down if anything, because we were only like 1 pitch up of it was like a 4 or 5 pitch climb. So we had a good amount of climbing to go, so I had to like basically like get myself ready to climb it again on lead to get up to you, and I was like not ready for that.
Yeah, like hats off to Cody for doing that, because it's like he had to re-lead the rope, because I'm basically stuck up there like an idiot. Like I don't have anything to get back down at that point. So Cody has to come back up, but not to mention now there's one less piece of equipment on top of.
I might have put a cam in. I think I had an extra one, maybe.
Okay. But still, still. You didn't have much equipment to supplement what I had already like spaced out. So
yeah.
Hats off.
I was so nervous.
Keep it together, keep it together.
Because there's like video. You took video like the second time I came up, and I remember just like looking. I looked at myself. I was like, oh, I look scared, because I was like totally scared, not feeling it, like not wanting to climb.
Wait, that sick picture I got of you stemming like this, because you don't see your face.
Yeah.
But
so there I'm good, but then there's video. Like I get a little higher, and I remember like I think I still have it on my phone. You might have it too, but I remember just looking like terrified.